Good evening, everyone. Please let this be sounding and looking okay. How's the lag? Can you see my jazz hands? Steph and I spent about an hour after the last failed show trying to get it working, and then came on again 24 hours ago to try and get it working, or 36, whatever it was. And I'm pretty sure we have the technical issues figured out. Let me know if this is all looking and sounding okay. I'll be looking for your comments, but let's bring Steph in and hopefully you can see and hear both of us. You'd think after doing this so many times it would be down pat, but sometimes extra technical issues arise. Hello, Stephanie.
Hi guys. Hey
Oh,
Matt.
I just
Hopefully
realized there
this
is one.
works.
There is an issue. They probably aren't hearing me.
Oh,
Are
can
you
you
guys
guys
hearing
hear
me now?
Matt?
Oh my lord.
Oh
Lucky I
no.
decided to put real pants on instead of just wearing my pajamas. Um, I should be sounding better
Wait, they
now.
said Oh, okay, wait. Uh test. Oh my God, let's hope this works. Come
Hello,
on.
folks. We can hear Matt fine. What? My on camera mic wasn't plugged in. You must have been picking me up through the laptop. Okay, but
Oh,
if it's
okay,
working, it's
okay.
working. I thought now that I plugged my mic in, it would be, you'd be hearing an echo. I'm going to just explain to you guys what was wrong and then do a second opening so then we can cut out that little shit show at the start for the permanent YouTube stream. Um, Basically, if you're using OBS, which is a streaming software we use, I had always had it set up exactly the same way. For some reason, my computer must have felt that it was struggling to put it all through, even though the software said it didn't drop any frames and it was at great health status. When I changed the encoder preset from very fast to ultra fast, which is lower CPU usage, it got smooth. So rather than using the excuse to upgrade my laptop, hopefully you're still seeing us okay and we don't need to do anything to change it around and make it look and sound okay. Although I have a feeling my head's going to hit the top of the frame, so I'm going to reduce that. And now I'm going to wait 5 seconds and redo that intro, and then the live show is on. Hi and welcome, folks. Thank you for joining us. Sorry for the technical issues on the last show. Welcome, Stephanie. And to everyone in the room, looks like we have a good room here today. Mr. Dev, Bram, Richard, Deborah, Max, Andrea, Tim, nice to see you all. Please shoot us a message and let us know where you are in the world, what you're shooting with, if you have a photo entered. Yeah, this should be really good. I don't know, when was the last time, Steph, that you and I had a successful show together? It must have been more than 6 months.
Oh yeah, I think it was it when you were here in New York in the States? Because then we do one in that like kind of really creepy house.
Maybe.
Or do we do one
That would
after
have been
that?
like a year then or something. Gosh, okay. We have done
I
some
don't know.
filming
It's been
here
a
in Hong
while.
Kong, but anyway, it's nice to have you. Normally we go through and have our little catch up, but most of our catch ups were personal, and we did that during the
Hmm.
when we were troubleshooting the
The
last
technical
show.
difficulties.
Um, I'll do a little bit of housekeeping and then we can catch up a little bit about what's going on professionally. So, thank you to everyone who entered shots. I apologize. This is actually the February judging. I know we're 10 days into March already. I was traveling through Japan testing out a bunch of equipment, including is this it? The A9 Mark III and some Sigma lenses and some other fun stuff that I'll get to share with you later. So I wasn't able to do the live show at the end of the month. Hence it coming through a little bit late and quite cool. We had a photo walk in Tokyo, and I think we have a few shots from people who were on the walk in the judging today. So that will be a nice little mashup. Everything in Hong Kong is going great. I've got my Iceland trip coming up in May, which is full and looks like it's going to be really fun. I met up with one of the guests yesterday for coffee. And after that, we're just putting the final finishing touches in place, but it looks like Steph and I will run a workshop in London on the second weekend of June. I think it's the 8th and 9th. So if you see in the description, I've put just I haven't put the full workshop live yet until we lock in all the details, but I've put a form where you can put in your info if you're interested in joining a lighting workshop with us. Either New York and London are pretty much sure for this year, but you can suggest other cities on that as well. And I'll only use that to contact you about lighting workshops that we have coming up. Um, yes. What about you, Steph? What have you been doing photo shoot wise?
Photo shoot wise, I mean, I've been getting a lot of work as a model and an actress, so it's been pretty good. My YouTube channel, Art School Dropouts, last year because it's been a while since I've talked to you guys, we actually got an opportunity to work with Michael Jai White and do his action design for his newest feature film. So that's pretty exciting. And this year he is slating us to do more action for another feature film that's he's going to be working on. So this year, besides London, a lot of traveling. Probably going to be in LA for a couple days.
Hmm,
Probably in 2 weeks, I think.
nice.
And then gonna be in Saskatchewan, Canada for a little bit. And then San Diego for the International Mobile Film Festival like I think the end of April. Um, and yeah, so that's kind of the updates for now. But please follow my work, Art School Dropouts, on YouTube. Trying to do more things and been posting like crazy on our Patreon. We had a stress test of a film week where we did like 4 projects, tons of like behind the scenes live streams, a lot of stress, a lot of lack of sleep, but it was a lot of fun. Yeah,
Busy, 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 as we would
busy, busy,
expect.
busy.
Now,
Yeah.
I saw some messages from people saying I'm muffled, but no problem. How is it now? Hopefully, my audio is much better. I think I had my computer audio on, not my lav mic, which would explain why when I had the lav mic not plugged in, it didn't make a difference. So tell me now, is the balance okay? And are you hearing me nice and clearly? I really hope so. Then we finally have all of the technical issues out. Looking for your comments, folks. So as I said, this month our theme is motion for the photos that we have entered. Of course, when you're using your shutter speed in a creative way, there's a couple of different ways that these kind of shots could go. You could have, thank you for the comments, folks. You could get something that's fast moving like a racing car or a running person or whatever it might be, and you could shoot it a little bit slow so then you get a tiny bit of blur. You could pan with it so then you have it sharp and you have the background blurred out. You could have it, quite slow, do a multiple second exposure and just have the object really blurred out. Or you could have it frozen pin sharp, which itself kind of gives an idea of motion because we know that that object should have been going quickly. Like if you have a bullet or an arrow frozen in the air, it still kind of gives a sense of motion even though you've captured it motionless. So this topic could go lots of different ways, but it should be that one, that it's something to do with motion, and then two, which one is the most creative overall shot will be our winner. And for the March competition, I'm going to make the theme Flash. So I'm thinking of, do I have some here? I think I do. I'm thinking of, flash, that it's had a flash, but you can be broad with the interpretation. So it could be, I don't know, there's a cartoon character called Flash, right? Or,
Mm-hmm.
you interpret it however you like. But so flash is the key word. And it could be that you didn't actually use flash, that you use continuous light or whatever. It could be that it's just lit, but as long as it either feels like it's clearly lit or you're playing off the word flash in another way, will be fine. Steph is a bit echoey, Matt is a bit quiet, others are saying loud and clear. I think we might have to just go with it. Someone just said,
Yeah.
I realize both of you have dimples. Well, I've always known that you have dimples. I don't think I have dimples. I have wrinkles. Maybe they've gotten to the point now where they resemble dimples. Um, all right, we're going to jump into it. So if you want to enter the next competition, because Motion is closed for Flash, go to mattgranger.com/live and enter your shot there. Now, taking a look at our images, I included a couple I was going through preparing for the A9 review that is going to be coming soon, and chose out some shots that I had taken in Japan. Thank you for the link, Steph. That, I don't think they're going to be the best ones in the competition, but they were ones that I had from, I think, 1 or 2 days of shooting in Japan. So here we are jumping across, and the joys of Lightroom. I don't know if you guys find this, but whenever I'm using Lightroom on a multi-display setup, I'll have it on my external monitor, and then it just decides to jump to the other monitor or jump to the third monitor. And I can't seem to lock it to one particular place, so it keeps getting lost on me. So anyway, here we go. This was taken in Nagano in the snow. It was this big, fat, puffy, lovely snow that kind of built up super quickly. This was with the 24-70 f8, 27 millimeter, and 1/25th of a second. And if we go in, you can see there's lots of motion. So this was basically the kind of nerdy stuff I do to test how's the in-body image stabilization. Am I able to handhold at a 25th of a second and get what needs to be sharp? And overall, yes, this one has come off fairly nicely, and we've got the sign and the car and all of that stuff nice and sharp, but with the snow all blurred. These two little cute monkeys that were wrestling, there was actually 3 of them. They were babies. They were running around and wrestling and jumping and rolling and kicking and biting each other. It was very, very adorable. I don't think you really get a sense of motion too much from this, other than the karate kick to the forehead, which reminded me of Steph. Who was that? You'll love this, Steph. I was at was it the Fuji event? I can't remember where it was. Sorry if you're watching, friend. I met a guy recently who had been at Sony Kendo and sat next to me when we were there, and we had chatted a little bit, but he apologized for not chatting much because he was shy. But he was there the night that you were kicking water bottles off people's heads. And I said, oh my God, I was so drunk, I'd forgotten that. And that all I remembered was I wanted you to kick Manny in the head, but you wouldn't do it. So,
Yeah.
memories.
I wasn't that drunk to do that.
Yeah.
With so many people with cameras, like, that would have been all over the place.
Yeah, would have been fun. So this little monkey getting a little bit of head action, I thought is quite cute. And then this, I forget the kind of bird, but this is Plum Blossom, thanks to Mariel, who I met actually at the monkeys. She was shooting the same monkeys these babies playing. We got to chatting. She's a Fuji bird photographer, and she suggested going to this particular botanic garden to get birds within Tokyo City, which kind of filled out my A9 review really nicely. So here's a little birdie flying from flower to get some pollen. So some little examples of motion there for you. Now let's jump into your guys' shots. And first off the bat, this is one that, so I'm not showing the names to myself, but this is one that I know who took it because they were on the photo walk and we discussed how they got it. So I've kind of seen what's in the sausage and know how this was made. So let's get Steph's impressions on it first.
That is so cool. Is this the same photographer that does a lot of like the toy stuff that is usually submitted?
The Lego diorama stuff, yes. Not the guy who shoots Barbies a lot.
Oh, okay. This is so cool. I honestly do not know how you did this to make it look like the Lego is in motion. Because like the wheels is what like kind of throws me off, since everything like the car itself is in focus, but the wheels look like they're spinning. So I don't know if that was done in post, but
So
that
funny
is really
thing,
cool.
and well spotted on that, Steph. Yeah, so from my memory, and I'm probably get some of the technical details wrong, he had like the car and the camera on an arm that could then rotate, so then the car could move through the scene as the camera did. So then you got the panning effect of having the background blurred but not the car. And then he did two versions. One where, yeah, he used radial blur to just make the wheels look blurry.
Mhm.
But another one where basically the wheels were spinning faster. Well, they were spinning faster and it's real blur. And I think this was that one.
Wow.
So this was a little model set in the backyard with a Lego in it, and all
That's
actually done in camera. So pretty cool.
cool. Oh, pink! It's been a while since I've done the show.
I
I need to
had
remember.
just hit the pick button. Well done. I have to say, great way to spend some time and with your son and go through and do the whole, the whole project. It's a great way of doing it for anyone who doesn't have a collection of Lego or a fun-loving son or a backyard and that kind of thing. You can go out and shoot this and create amazing looking images with panning. Shooting doesn't need to be a Ferrari F1 car, it can be a Toyota Corolla. You can create some really cool effects. So don't let, I would say the opposite. In this case, he's gone out of the way to not let limitations stop him from creating a great shot. But we can all kind of fall into that trap of thinking, well, I don't have that whole kit to be able to do something like that. Any camera and lens with control over your shutter speed, you can go out and practice panning shots and get something really cool. So don't be shy to try. Oh, this is kind of interesting. I guess it's hail falling, popping up little drops of water on the water, little bloops on the lake or the pond there. But it kind of looks like jellyfish popping up out of the water with the
Yeah, the ends of it, like the
squirty bits.
tentacles. Yeah.
I don't know. I like that, but I do feel it's quite busy. You have to kind of really zoom in to find it, and then there's only that little bit in the center, and then they're kind of being overlapped by the tree. I think it's hard to say, always saying, what if you tried this perspective? Because you could have fallen off a cliff. I don't know where you were standing. But if you had a longer lens, this was taken at 117 and could have like shot down more and just tried your luck to have a much tighter frame and firing until you get a few drops in the right spot in your frame, to just have these things popping up and the surface of the water without the kind of jungle background, because I think it's a little bit distracting. And I think maybe
Mhm.
the focus was a bit far into the shot because it's at f20, but the foreground is still blurry. We still just have this band in the middle. So if you had the resolution, maybe you can even crop into that. Must have been low light too, because it says you're up at 6400 ISO. Here's another shot, which is another panning shot, showing they don't need to be Ferraris to get a cool looking shot. This looks like a Honda Civic or something. This is pretty good. I would just say if you had more of the car in the shot. So in any shot, taking a look at what's in the frame, what's not in the frame, what's sitting on the edge of frame, and what helps your story, you can kind of refine it down. So in this case, the bright signage above, I think, would really help. So if you kept shooting this series and as you were moving, you slow down just a little so the car gets into the middle of your frame, and then you kind of shot it when the two cars overlapped, so then your car that's your main focus was in front of the yellow signage kind of with a nice bright background and it's not being cut off. I think that's a more interesting frame than having it as it is. But it kind of reminds me of like a Back to the Future. They're about to hit 88 miles an hour and then disappear into the ether. Any thought on that one, Steph? Bring back memories of us in London outside the West Ferry studios, panning
Oh my
cars with all the students with
gosh.
cars driving around.
I mean, I think this shot I feel like there's like a missed opportunity because with all of the water that's splashing backwards, if you got more of the car, even if it was like in my head, if it was all the way to the right and then you see the tail end of like the splash effect in the background, I think that that would be really cool. But I mean, I can only imagine how hard it is to like do a shot like this. I think all of the panning type shots is very difficult. But yeah, I think it is pretty cool though. I definitely think there's something there, and I love the colors of the signage. It definitely plays to it.
I yeah, agree with everything Steph said. I agree also with Richard's suggestion that I think you could have a bit less asphalt in front. But the blue and the purple of the car, I think, would contrast really nicely with the yellow signs that you have coming up ahead. So maybe just check. Maybe you got a few frames after this one that do fit the feedback we were giving, and you chose this one because you like the, I don't know, the stream of water out the front of the car. You may still have more before or after this that don't have the car cropped off. Nice. And okay, and we have a helicopter crop spraying, I guess.
Oh.
So we've just got one of the chopper blades. Now, I don't know what's come in here, but we don't have any shooting data on this one. Let me just move it back across a little bit. On one hand, I wonder if the helicopter's in the right position when but actually probably it is, because if you had it up on the sky, we would lose it. So you have it on the darkest part of the hill that gives it the best contrast, and then the vapor or the liquid that's being sprayed is being caught in direct sunlight, so we do actually see it nice and clearly. I just wonder, without getting too carried away here on other people's work, can we crop it in a little bit? Maybe bring it in just a little to give it a bit more oomph. What do you guys think of that crop? Just taking a look at the chat. Max has been shooting a lot of college basketball and hockey lately. Nice. They would have both been perfect for a motion entry, Max. 101 blog, hi all. Nice to see you. It's been a minute. Champagne Sumo. Imagine how much and how much it would cost to get a champagne drunk on a sumo drunk on champagne. Oosh.
Champagne drunk on sumo. Ooh, I don't know how that is.
Okay. If you guys have any questions, of course, please send them in and we'll take a look at them as we continue our chat. Let's keep going. Oh, and somehow I put the names on now, so let me take that off. So what is this? One of those, is it a pelican? Maybe a baby pelican starting to take off. I still think on all these shots, if you have the resolution, coming in closer is better. We know what murky water looks like. It doesn't really, if you're really trying to care about its position in the frame, and you want to, want a third, something like that, you can still do it, but you could still have it in closer. But I think you could bring it in a lot for better impact. All of the interest is the bird and the splash, essentially, right? So if the file will hold up to the crop, I would bring it in closer. I'm so tempted to segue into what I found with the Sony A9 III, but I'm a little gun shy at the moment because I had forgotten, of course it's a minority, but I had forgotten how aggressively defensive some of the commenters are whenever you have Sony content. And I should say almost kind of in both directions, because there's Sony users who just attack when there's anything said about their precious brand. But then I also get private messages of concern from people saying, are you shooting Sony again? I thought you were a Nikon shooter.
Oh my God.
Which is so funny because I test Fuji and Canon and Leica and Hasselblad and I don't get any of those messages. But whenever it's Sony, then people are a bit worried, like, have you gone to the dark side? And then Sony users
Oh
themselves, you
gosh.
don't know anything about Sony. Shut your mouth, you stupid Australian. Quite funny.
Well, I'm technically a Sony user, and you can use whatever camera you feel like it.
That's why I said the vocal majority, because I have a lot of friends who use Sony who are not that person at all, who are not dogmatic and, they're just photographers, videographers, and lovely people. So I know it's not a Sony thing. I'm not tarring everyone with one brush, but sometimes it takes a minute to remind myself that when you do 100 videos and you get a typical response, you do one on that brand, and then it's just so savage and toxic. But I have to say, Fuji shooters also can get their back up, but not as aggressively and as personally. Um, okay. On average, in my experience, I know it doesn't mean if you're a Sony or a Fuji shooter, blah, 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 blah.
Mhm.
So what? Yeah, what the hell? What I was saying, what I was going to say is let's put a positive spin on it. That would be one of the reasons why of the Sony range right now, my personal pick would be the A1, even though the A9 III is so ridiculously and incredibly fast. When you're shooting birds and that kind of thing, you want as much reach as possible. So nothing wrong with 24 megapixel, but if I have the choice between 120 frames a second at 24 megapixel or 30 frames at 50 megapixel, I would rather the higher res, so that in situations like this where my 400mm lens wasn't as long as I wanted to be in close, I have the extra resolution still to be able to crop it in. Michi is saying, I missed the Tokyo photo walk as I live in Osaka. Would you have any plans to come to Osaka for a photo walk? I would have loved to have you, my friend, but I don't travel to cities just for photo walks. It's only, if I'm there and then I have half a day free, it's nice to do one. As lovely as that lifestyle would be to plan a round the world trip to just meet up with people and have photo walks, I have to tie it into work. So I don't have any trip to Osaka planned just yet. I was there maybe 6 or 8 months ago. So hopefully next time. Let's continue with our little pickies. As any other questions you guys have, send them in and I will we'll take a proper break for questions in a couple of minutes. Oh, Steph, what do you think of this sunset? And don't be distracted by it's a person with two dogs.
Do we skip one?
I have bird, I have helicopter, bird, sunset. What do you have?
Oh, I have dog.
Oh,
Just
dog in
dog.
green. Okay, so they're out of order for me then. Is your next one the
Huh,
sunset?
okay.
Okay, well,
Yes.
that's what we're on. Sunset at the beach. We'll get to the dog next.
Okay. The dog. I think most of the motion is in the waters. Um, I guess the sky too a little bit, but I mean it is very pretty. I just don't know where the focus is. Like it just seems a little grainy. I don't know if that was done in post. Um,
So one thing,
yeah, I don't know. It's like got like a weird overlay of it. I feel like it's just like it makes it look like an art piece, like a painting.
yes. So I think the owner and the dogs in the distance, which by the way are quite fabulous, have been heavily
Yes.
sharpened. I get what you mean that
Okay.
there's something about the pattern of the clouds that makes them feel like there's movement, even though there isn't really.
Yeah.
But feedback, I just checked the name. This one was taken by John. This is a really low res file. So this is about a quarter of the
Oh,
resolution
okay.
that we ask for the video. So it's kind of hard to go in and see the details to give as much feedback. Look, as an overall shot, I really like it, and I think the amount of movement works. I think for a motion competition, either having a slower shutter speed to get some more movement in the water would help it be clearly about motion, or having your subjects that are far away in the distance be much closer, because if we see the dogs running, then that's a motion shot more
Hmm.
clearly.
I feel like also too much sky, but yeah, maybe cropping it.
Yeah, I see what you mean, but I would like to keep the ratio. I think it's like if you bring a shot
Mm,
down so that the horizon is right in the middle of the shot, it's really quite boring. So if you were going to crop it, I would still
hmm.
like to keep the horizon point close to being on a third rather than being in the middle.
Hmm.
Next up is your puppy. And there's something odd going on with this one. I had a look at it earlier. It, there's so little depth of field. It really looks like the background's just disappearing. So I don't know if it's had extra blurring done. It says it was taken at f2.8. So I would expect to be a bit more depth of field on this one, but it could be that you've clearly added a vignette. This was taken with the D850 and the 70 to 200. It doesn't vignette like that, especially on a 1:1 crop. You'd have more space whichever direction you shot this, vertically or in portrait. And it feels like the white balance is a bit off. It's kind of hard to know, but it feels overall a little bit blue to me. So I love the shot. I feel like you could. There's stuff that there's great potential there, but I feel like the edit of it is just a little bit off-putting. Like it could be a bit warmer. Is going to be nicer. What do you think, Steph? Forgetting that it's a dog, if you can.
Yes, forgetting that it's a dog. Super adorable dog, by the way. I love dogs. Um, it's yeah, I feel like it's a bit grainy to me. I feel like the focus isn't there. I would have loved to have seen his eyes more clear. Because when you like zoom in, it like the picture itself is just very grainy. Like his name is Mikey, I think. But yeah, I think maybe just too much done in post, maybe. But super adorable. Love the motion of him walking forward and that eye contact. But and also even the trail in the background also works very well too. But I feel like the quality of the photo itself, I think it was just a little bit too
Yeah,
overdone.
it's interesting because this says it was taken at ISO 400, so it shouldn't be a particularly
Hmm.
noisy file. But yeah, let us know if you're in the room, John, what you did on that one. Okay, some def. It's funny, you get to a point of movement. Are you looking at the same one, Steph, of the highways? You get
Yes.
cool. You get to a point where there's so much movement, it almost looks still again because we have no actual cars
Hmm.
in the shot, just the headlights, tail lights of the cars. This I do like, but this one I think you could bring the sky down to be what do we want it to be? Like just the start of the blue. Hey, stop locking my aspect ratio, buddy. Something like that brings us right down on the road a little bit more succinctly. And if you wanted to, you could grab a little filter for the sky and just darken down the shadows a little bit to make it feel a little bit more nighttimey. That I think already kind of brings it together. What do you guys think? So that's my little suggestion, and then how it came in was like that.
Zooming in is kind of funny because all of the lines, it's obviously
Lions,
like
lions,
fast moving
lions.
cars. but when you zoom in, you can see like there's literally like I guess cars at a standstill. It looks like they're stuck in traffic. I like that contrast. But you can only see a couple cars if you zoom
Oh yeah,
all the
yeah.
way
They,
in.
they must have been stopped for a light. See what you mean. Yeah, I like it though. I'm gonna actually give it a
Mm-hmm.
pick because we haven't been picking. Um, yeah, I think this has great potential. Oh, and this one too. I think this could come in tighter, but this shot of the rally driver, what is that, like a Lancia or something? Um, I love the plumes of smoke behind it, but I do think it. I think giving this one space to breathe definitely is worthwhile, but I do think you could still come in a bit on this one and still have it with plenty of space, like something like that would still give it loads of room around it, um, but maybe make it a bit more obvious where our eye should go straight away. What did you think on that one, Steph?
I think it's pretty cool. The smoke effect, like not the smoke, the dust and the dirt actually works really well to show the motion. Um, yeah, if anything, I just think too much ground.
Mm-hmm.
So like cropping it in. I feel like we're just crop monsters like this month. Just everything crop, crop, crop. But yeah, I think it would do better with like a slight crop to say.
Great, and I agree with Richard. When I cropped it in, I was paying attention to that flag in the foreground. I think you do want to keep that in.
Hmm.
Nice pick. Yep,
Oh,
picked
pick.
it already. Next up,
Oh, damn.
Death Wish. Um, Now, here's one. I mean, you get the whole story here. It works fine, but depending on what the scene was around it, how the a little wider might actually give a more terrifying context.
Uh-huh.
I know Steph's feedback is nope, but in terms of the photo, it's nicely in focus. Very nice of them to choose an outfit and a parachute that contrasts so nicely with the background so that we get the nice, sharp black outline there. Um, yeah, not much more to say. Maybe a broader crop. Um, I realize you only get one chance at this, so you probably couldn't play around with your settings too much. But I mean, at the shot, hopefully the skydiver has a second, or the base diver, whatever they are, has a second chance. But it would be kind of cool to see this kind of a shot where they're falling and then they pull the ripcord, and then that moment that they get yanked, if you shot it at a slightly slow shutter speed to see that movement. I wonder if there would be a cool shot in that rather than pin sharp. What are you laughing at, Steph? It sounds inappropriate.
No, no, it's just like this whole thing is just scary. I think because of its tight crop, to me it's even scarier.
The
Because
ground
it's
could be
like,
right
okay, that
there.
parachute is not on the ground, it's right there. And the person's expression is so nonchalant. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna just go based off of the person's expression for this, that the ground is way, 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 way far.
But then you think, where's the
Um,
photographer? Are they in the helicopter? Are they on the bridge? Or are they standing on the ground?
what if they're also in a picture shoot? Like, what if they're also
Wow.
like dropping down with them? That is not safe for the camera. Oh my God. Plus that yanking motion with the camera. Whew. But yeah, no. Matt's got it right.
Nope.
Nope.
Okay, but still, yep, nice shot. Oh,
Yeah. I say pick.
okay,
I say
I'm
pick.
gonna pick the next one, and it's maybe even more of a nope. Interesting. You get the sense of motion just from the direction of the smoke, but again, I mean, there's a little guy up there. Why give it so much space? We know this the sky is big. We got that. There's lots of space, but we want to see them, right? So I would have this come way in. You don't want to crop off any of the smoke, but the rest of it, bring it in. I want to see it. I want to see this
Yeah.
daredevil woman or man in a lovely ponytail who is just chilling on top of a plane. Yeah, I give it a pick because it's an interesting one where the propeller's actually frozen, everything's static in the shot. We don't have any clouds even to give a reference, but just the put 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 of that terrifyingly old airplane gives us the sense of motion
Yeah.
and the direction her ponytail is flying actually. Um, there you go. There you go. There you go, Steph. I'm going to do two more and then answer any
Mm-hmm.
questions you guys have, so please send them in, folks. This next one looks like interpretive dance theater working through, some kind of therapy session. Go, Steph. What's the story here?
Um, that is just very interesting. It looks like maybe she just got lifted up, had her hand originally on the woman's shoulder and then just dropped, but I can't really tell. Um, from a model's perspective, she's pointing her toes, and that's awesome.
As a foot
But
model expert,
oh my god. I started modeling for shoes,
no, no, no,
guys.
for
It's pretty
feet.
awesome. My feet are modeling for
They
shoes.
have a separate agent body, Steph.
I do have a separate agent for like my yeah, okay. Anyways, sorry on the photo. I think it is very interesting though. I do like that the woman that's being carried, she's pretty still. Her expression kind of carries on from like through the motion. The only thing that I find distracting to the shot is like that weird light on the top left corner, but I feel like this is a theater performance. You can't really control too much. And if you're in a seat that, I mean, you can't kind of get out and choose a different vantage point. I think the crop is a little too tight personally because I feel like the woman that is carrying or man, I don't know. It might have cropped too close to the top
God,
of
we're
the head.
so inconsistent, aren't we? Crop it more. Not cropped enough. Too cropped.
I know.
Yeah, I think maybe not having the head cropped. I wonder, generally you don't want to crop off limbs, but being that if this is the shot you have and the head is really tightly cropped like that already, I wonder if bringing it up a little bit because it's long flowy robes, if we still have some of the semicircle on the ground but lost the feet, I wonder if that actually works. Do we need to see the bare feet? Because we see the robes, bringing it up a bit brings everything in. We still see the bottom of the spotlight that completes that blue haze in the top left. I wonder if that works. Personally, I probably would have submitted it with the feet the same, just checking.
So crop in, but also have more up top. We are so inconsistent.
More annoying than inconsistent. Consistently annoying.
Yes, we are very annoying. Consistently
Oh,
annoying.
that should be like a trademark for a
Yeah.
marriage counseling service or something. Now, there's two things that jump out at me on this one. One that bothers me and one that's fantastic. Which one should I go for first, Steph? The positive or the negative?
Go negative.
Okay. Full Sony mode. We, I mean, it just jumps out that you have masked the two horses, the cow, and the two men up front, and brighten them up by like a stop or more versus the background. It looks really obvious, and I'm sorry to say it looks really fake and unnatural. Unless Jesus just shone his light right on them and let the background fall away, it looks unnatural. You could do it in a more natural way by just bringing up the highlights on those areas and bringing down the shadows in the background. But when you bring up everything universally in the foreground, Like, look how bright and white and evenly lit the guy's face is now compared to the people in the background where everything is just muddy, literally and figuratively, and muted. It looks really fake to me. The thing that I love is unfortunately blurred out in the background, but it's the what? 7 guys in a row, all wearing denim, all wearing
Oh my
blue
God, I was
shirts,
gonna
all
say that
wearing
too.
matching hats, all either with their thumbs in their pocket or their arms folded. It's like I hope they're all
It's
brothers-in-law, and I don't know. There's something about that that's like that's the club, and maybe this is the new guy being initiated. And that even
mhm.
jumping onto this cow. And by the way, the guy is like twice the size of the cow. There's a good chance of like destroying that little baby cow's back. He's still wearing his hat and shirt and everything that matches what the guys in the back are wearing. I thought it's hilarious. It's like a 40-year-old version of the school dance where you have all the men standing against the wall and all the women standing on the other wall. Yeah, what did you think, Steph?
Yeah, it's funny because I was thinking the same thing. I was like, okay, the two in the front, it looks like there's like a halo effect or something going on there. But I feel like if you just kind of not have over edited so much and just kind of also had the guys in the background, like I just think it's funny just to see that whole row of guys in the back. It's not motion, but I think it would have just added to
Actually,
the
I
motion
think
that is
the
happening.
fact that they are so nonchalant and there's no motion is the story. That like, because I mean, I don't know, I don't have any cowboy friends, but the movie cliche is that they're not in touch with their emotions, that they don't share like highs or lows in expression. So the fact that they're all standing there kind of just like, yep, he's jumping on that cow right there. And
Yeah,
that
like,
lack of
well,
motion
it's just
is the
another
motion
day.
story being told. And as Richard points out, the one guy in the black and the red shirt, that guy, he's probably
Uh-huh.
outcast, right? He's the fancy one in the group. He's just way too into fashion.
He came in and it's just like, come
And
on,
he's
man, you
wearing a
didn't get the
black
memo?
hat
It's
too. What is he
like,
doing? He must be from out of
yeah.
town. Must be. Oh, I love it.
On
The men in
Tuesdays,
the
we wear
background are the
black button-up
best.
shirts and white hats.
I want to move to that town and open a white hat and denim on denim shop. You're going to be rich. Okay.
Oh my
But thank
gosh.
you for entering it.
All right,
Just be
anyways.
a bit more careful with your masking and how you edit the different zones in your image. Okay. Cute little baby getting splashed in the backyard. Simple shot. It's, kind of framed by the hedge and the tree and the bushes. If you have to choose a vantage point, I guess having the baby's face as opposed to mum's is the way to go. Um,
Mm.
I don't know. I don't feel there's much here to go into. Any thoughts on this, Steph?
Um, it looks like a commercial shoot to sell whatever this little water basin for kids thing. Like just throw on a brand
Well,
and
well,
it
I
looks
was
like
thinking
it could be on the
kind of
package.
that if the attraction is the tub, then the framing is kind of off.
Mhm.
You got headroom, but you're
Yeah.
cropping it off. Probably coming a bit more side on, so you see just how happy mum is because she's the one making the purchasing decision, not just the baby. And then you could choose a cleaner background. So for something like this, if you were already shooting wide open on this shot, can we see what this was? Well, this was at 5.6, but if you were already wide open, just bringing the whole setup twice as far away from the background, so then the background softens out further, you could have the emphasis more on there. But it certainly tells the story of a typical backyard, right? Not everything is studio shot. Very cute. It's
Hmm.
just, it's kind of a, you're stuck in two worlds. You want the whole space, you want the water drops, you want mum, but all the cuteness in the image is the baby's face, really. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Send
Yeah.
through any pics, any questions, sorry, folks, because we're getting, I feel like, towards the end of the images, so we'll be wrapping up soon. I like this one, and this looks like it could be taken at the after party from the cattle rustle. And this is the Enterprise ride, taken at a cool time of day, the blue hour. So there's just one guy like walking through or standing in line, and no one else maybe even at the yard.
Hmm.
It's kind of off level, but doesn't matter too much. And it's at the time of day where you can balance out the lights and the background and get this nice neon look. I like it as it is, and I'm going to give it a pick. I have kind of a sucker for this old Americana type stuff. This is just like, feels like the kind of photo you get if you were to stop in the middle of Arizona at some small town local, Easter show or something that you didn't even know was going to be on. So I like it as is, but I wonder if a wider shot showing some of the fairground, the carnies over here, or the local eating a corn dog, or the dog scratching itself, whatever, in the foreground could tell the story of the place even more. Because I don't know, it just feels like a kind of a time capsule type photo, and it's not really just that the ride would be the main attraction in a scene like this.
Would you ride
I
that
don't know
ride?
how it works. Is it one of those ones where you stand and then like the centrifugal force holds
No,
you
I don't
against the
think
wall?
so. I feel like it's one of those ones that like harness you in, and then it's like it goes up, but then as it spins, it also kind of
Oh,
like
so you're
leans
sitting
in all directions.
on the
I
outer
think so.
edge.
I think
If it,
so.
then probably, yeah, that doesn't sound so bad. It'd still be the centrifugal
Oh,
force. So
that
even
seems
if you're
horrible.
facing straight down, you assume the speed of it will have you pressed right against the back of the seat. I just don't like the ones where like you're relying on the strap to not undo or brake to stop you falling out. If we got some
Uh,
other force holding me in place, then other than fear, maybe. But I don't know. Those kind of show rides just seem like they have a failure point, and it's today most likely.
mhm.
Next up, we have a real man doing a real job with no
Oh,
protective gloves. What do we got going on here?
oh, oh, Bruce. Come on, man. You need some
What's it
gloves.
say there? Ebel Bruce?
Cold,
Cole.
Bruce.
Okay. Something tells me out of frame is a white hat. Just out of frame. We should have called this the cowboy set. No. So, motion, we've got tempering steel, the bang, the sparks flying. It's an interesting amount of movement because you pretty much have him, his legs, his torso, even his shirt, arm, hand is all nice and sharp, and it's just the sparks flying. So you must have caught it just as after he'd hit, and he was all still again, but the sparks were still flying out. Yeah, there's not too much distraction. It would be cool. This right hand 20% kind of breaks the overall mood. You've got all the warm light there, the warm light coming along running along the hammer, and then on the right you've got some other machinery in the blue. I wonder if stepping right, you could fill up the frame and keep it all in that mood. If that would work even better, but I think yeah, I think it works well. What do you think?
Yeah, I was literally thinking the same thing, like if you moved right and then had that fire in the background rather than whatever the far right blue thing is.
What do
But
you think if this was
yeah.
actually a photo
Whew.
taken by Bruce as evidence against this guy who kept stealing his tools? ISON says call it stolen tools. So, if you're in this kind of a workplace and somebody's written their name on the thing, it's like being in an office and people are writing their name on their lunch. There's an issue. There's an issue if you
Yeah.
have to write your name on stuff. I don't know. Here we go, another wet dog at the beach, a bit more movement. The water looks so sharpened, it kind of hurts my eyes even on this small version. So first of all, I think, can I move it a little bit so that we're not stacked over the image? Let's do that. Honestly, when I look at this, I wouldn't, we weren't doing this competition, I wouldn't think this is a motion photo. But then it's just as motiony as the last beach shot we had, I guess.
Yeah.
It's actually exactly the same idea. Let's get a little bit of movement in the beach, have an interesting sky, the nice reflections on the water, and then what the hell, let's include a guy and his dog so we have a subject somewhere in the foreground. It's the exact same concept, but at a really different time of day, and different kind of
Yeah.
conditions on the day. I don't know. Let's
I kind of feel like this one's more of a grab shot, though.
let's have a look at them side by side. Quite different, very different. Looking at them side by side like this, sorry, Steph, you probably can't do this at this time, but you can look at YouTube. There is something about the first one with the cotton candy sky that the shape of the clouds really resembles the waves with the movement he's brought into it, that makes it feel like the whole image has a little bit of movement to it. Whereas the second one, that's kind of been lost because he or she, I haven't checked the name, has super sharpened the shot, which makes the water feel super crispy and you lose that same kind of feeling of motion. Yeah, so two quite similar shots, but with a very different result. And Steph, right, I see pointed toes. What do you think of the high kick or the middle kick?
Oh, nice.
If I ever get kicked in the chin, then I hope they're smiling and enjoying their day as much as she is.
I like this. This feels very vacation-y. I like the stream of the sand that's being kicked up. Um, yeah, I definitely see motion here. I feel like this one's pretty dynamic. I think it's leveled. Yes, it looks leveled. Yeah, I like it. It's very simple, but
Yeah,
yeah,
it's fun. I agree with
yeah.
Richard and Bram. It's fun. It does make you smile. Everything you said, Steph. It's a great holiday shot. It's easy to dismiss a shot like this as being just a holiday shot or just a quick little grab shot, and I'm sure it was. I doubt there was 20 takes or anything like that. It feels spontaneous and fun, and probably be the cover of the album for the beach holiday. Max, I agree with what you're saying as well. The outfit color is a great contrast,
Hmm.
and it's great beachwear anyway. It's not a work of art. It's a very simple shot, but not everything has to be. And it does, I don't know, it could be holidays, it could be motion, it could be joy, and it would be still, it's just like a simple but pleasant, pleasing kind of shot. So I'll give it a pick, even though I don't know it'll be a front runner for a prize. And I hope you guys had a lovely holiday.
Oh, I forgot to give a pick for the cold brews.
No pick for you. Sorry. Okay.
Oh,
Flag is
okay.
pick. Okay, and that was our last one.
Yay!
Swisted Film saying, photoshopping a 98-pound weakling that she's kicking the sand into their face. Oh, that's not nice. And the only person who may be 98 pounds that I know is Steph, and she's no weakling. She should be.
Hey, I'm like 110 now, so
Okay,
give
with
me some
wet
credit.
hair and your hoodie and everything, maybe. Okay. Now, let me just. We didn't switch angles at all, which is a nice change. Let's just. We're back on just the two of us, Steph. Just take a quick look through the comments and see if we missed any questions. Bram said that he's put a Facebook link to the BTS of how he got the
Oh.
model car shot. Someone shared a link to people partying with sumo wrestlers and almost dying from alcohol poisoning. It's like the legendary stories of Andre the Giant drinking a case of beer in half an hour, that kind of thing. Champagne Sumo saying, what? No shooting star photos? Well, why didn't you shoot one and enter it? I'm not seeing wonderfully unusual capture, great action photo. So thank you for being so interactive, folks. Don't see anything much in the way of questions, though. So let's just have a quick jump back and have a look at our picks. I have not switched back yet. Here we go. Okay, so we have the racing car, the streaming. Oh, we have a lot of car shots. The road in wherever that is, maybe Vegas. I have no idea. The rally shot, the base jumper, the amusement park, the metal worker, and then the holiday high kicker. I will stop looking at your comments, folks, but feel free to send in what you think, which is your favorite. Interesting that all of the entries, we do have a little bit of variation. We've got some portraits, a lot of cars, some one or two that's about freezing motion, others that are about showing it. Nothing that's lit per se, which is a nice contrast because next competition, the theme is flash. I mean, the amount of work that's gone into this one is fantastic. The car shot, the model Lego one. This streaming one, I'm not sure where this was taken. I guess there's a footbridge overpass over this location, and the repeated shapes through it, through to the mountains, I think works really well. I do think bringing in the top for the crop. The rally one with the streaming light through the plumes of dust, and then the foreground blur is nice, but again, I think that could crop up. The skydiving, it's a big nope from me, but it's a nice photo. Then we've got the fairground, the metalwork, and the kick.
Okay.
So now that we have Steph back, we get two winners.
Woohoo.
Well, I have two. I think having the Lego, this entrant has won so many in the past, and having met him and heard all of how it was taken, I have a better appreciation for it, and I give it a highly commended. But I don't know that we can have yet another win on this one. So I'm going to give mine to Marcus Brown, which is the highways shot. Stephanie.
So
You
the little
can over.
toys out of
So
the.
you can still choose. You can choose any of them.
I'm gonna have to go with the Lego toy. It's just so good.
Okay, I
You crushed
didn't want
it.
to prompt you, but yes, that was still an option
No,
for
I
you
already
to
had it
choose.
decided before you said that. That's why I was like, wait, I can't choose them?
Okay, nice. So Bram with his Ferrari Lego, and Marcus with his Motion, and then to our other 5 finalists. Nice. Congratulations and thank you for entering. To everyone else, reminder on the housekeeping. Check out the link below. Steph and I will be doing some workshops around the place. Please put in your details if you'd like to hear about them. Our flash competition is now open. Go to mattgranger.com/live and you can enter there. Steph has put her, I think maybe the link you just shared, Steph, has the date included in the link. And Steph has her Patreon in the links there as well. You'll find it all in the description anyway, folks. Let us know if you have any issues or questions with entering for next month, but otherwise we look forward to seeing you then. And hallelujah, we finally got there with all the technical issues. Yes, Richard, don't forget to hit like on the stream and subscribe and share with your friends and start a pyramid scheme and make $1 million. Do all of those social engaging things.
Oh wow, they're like, there's a lot to do right now.
Thanks for joining us, Steph. Thanks for your flexibility with the technical issues 2 days ago as well. Thank you all for your patience, and I think that'll do us for now. It's Monday morning here, time for me to get stuck in. I'm working through the Sony. Oh, there was 2 things that I was going to show here, and I forgot to show them at all, even after I set it all up. So can I do this? How do I turn that off? The first one
Yeah, we're gonna
was...
talk about news.
I was not going to go right into news, but I was going to do... so where are we? Is it you? Yeah, you, and then you. So one, I have been working on, you probably know I have a Nikon expert setup guide, a Fuji GFX, and a Hasselblad one. I'm working on the Sony Alpha version, and just quietly, Sony have a lot of different cameras and hugely customizable, so it's going to be a very, very detailed one. That one is up on pre-sale right now, but you can check it out. It goes through the entire full frame range for Sony, yeah, as of right now, so that's still a lot of different cameras. And we also have I just wanted to mention, because it seems like it's the new hot camera that everyone dropped a review on except for me, because I haven't had it, wasn't at the event and I haven't had a chance yet. But the new Leica SL3 has come out, same sensor as the Q3 and the M11. Slightly smaller body. Actually, the one and only time I've been to Wetzlar in Germany was for the SL2 launch, which, gosh, must have been about 6 years ago now. Not sure if there's anyone, let me know as a comment, who is actually shooting SLs in our community, but yeah, if I can get one in the test out, I will do that. There's some great lenses that have been released for L mount of late, so still a very, very expensive camera that will probably be surpassed in most ways when Panasonic bring their version out, in every way except for the huge, bold Leica branding on that one, and maybe the build quality. I think that will do it. Any questions that you guys have, let us know. Otherwise, let's end this. We're right on an hour. Thanks again, Steph.
Ooh,
Thank you, everyone
yeah,
else.
thanks for having me.
We'll see you guys soon.
Bye,
Don't forget to get
guys.
your flash theme shots in for this month. Ciao.
Bye.